Welcome back, Wanderers. On this episode, we head for the hills. We take on the infamous Tail of the Dragon, visit some small towns in North Carolina, get into some not so great weather, catch some glimpses of the Blue Ridge Mountain and Smoky Mountains, and also manage to conquer some fears along the way. So stay tuned and check it out. First up, we are headed from Ohio down to Knoxville, Tennessee. The next morning, we were up bright and early to take on the infamous Tail of the Dragon. After the Dragon's Tail, we made our way onwards towards Silva, a really small town in North Carolina. Our destination for today was all the way over in Asheville, so we had some ground to definitely cover. But here's a few shots of some of the really nice windy roads that you get to experience when kind of cutting through over from Robbinsville. And there they are, your first glimpses of the Smoky Mountain Range. Finally, we make it to our midpoint destination of Silva, North Carolina. The Jackson County Courthouse was built in 1913 and has approximately 107 steps to reach the top to see some really gorgeous views of the mountains beyond, and also the little town of Silva, North Carolina. After Silva, North Carolina, we head to our next check-in point of Candler, North Carolina, where we stay in very interesting accommodations for the evening. We were able to rent out a 1950s Airstream Safari. This is available on Airbnb. I will definitely link the details below on where you can rent this for yourself. And I am also going to be providing a pretty short tour video in the near future of our stay, so you can kind of see the inside of it and all of its retro glory. Alright, see those clouds? We are headed in that direction. We are now near the Blue Ridge Parkway in Asheville, North Carolina. As you can see, there's those gloomy gray clouds overhead, and believe me, it gets worse from here. There's the rain. You can start to see it falling now. We thought it was just going to be a quick shower, little pop-up, but unfortunately it got worse and worse along the way, which, I mean, it's to be expected when you travel. Not every day is going to be sunshine, rainbows, and all that stuff. This was pretty intense, though. We ended up pulling over just a little bit to allow the rain to kind of pass over a little bit. There was some hail for a brief moment, but again, when you're in these weird situations, it's best to just kind of pull off and wait instead of trudging through with unfamiliar territory. So that's what we did. And we just kind of slowly took our time getting back up the mountain. As you can see here, we're starting to run into some fog and some really thick cloud cover. It's kind of spotty throughout the rest of this video, so you can kind of see glimpses of the Blue Ridge and certain vistas, and unfortunately this is what we dealt with for the remainder of the trip. We made it up to Mount Mitchell. I was able to actually climb up to the summit, which is just a short walk, but it's an uphill walk. Everything's paved. It's a nice pathway and everything, but again, lots of cloud cover. You can see it there off to the right, kind of all rolling in, and it just envelops everything. I got up there during the last few seconds while we were still able to see some of the mountain range before everything kind of took over. As you can see the clouds in this shot, everything's just kind of sweeping in. Really ethereal, but again, I'm not going to get those cool views, but it was still really beautiful in that moment. And on the way down, we got this very brief moment of sunshine and blue skies. Again, probably the most clear shot that we were able to take that entire journey, but I'm so glad we got to see just a glimpse of that. Down into the fog. Alright, so that was pretty much the gist of our weekend. We're heading home, and guess what? More fog. I guess that's why they call it the Smoky Mountains though, right? Was one of the few scenic overlooks that are along the way. They're not full rest areas or anything by any means, but they have pull-offs and little trails that you can hike up to kind of get a cool view of the Smoky Mountains before you kind of depart from that area, and we definitely took advantage of that. The mountains are gorgeous. Can't even really do them justice in this footage. They're massive. Heading back north, we actually stopped at one more area, just kind of on a whim, called the Natural Tunnel. This is a state park. You do have to pay to get in, but it was worth it. And as you'll see here in a moment, Paul was able to conquer one of his fears, which is fear of heights. We were able to take this tram that takes you down to the actual natural tunnel itself, into the state park, where there's a couple other trails and stuff you can walk along a creek bed. But a lot of fun. Definitely recommend it.
That would have been really bad. Also, that thing was a big one. That was huge. And it didn't pay. It didn't pay to get on there. I put my arm around you, but
I know. You're doing good.
I don't want to be compared to that 6-year-old kid. I didn't want to be behind her in case she had a panic attack.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, 6-year-old me wouldn't have done this.
So just some history about the tunnel. This was actually naturally formed, I want to say about 1 million years ago is what the little diagram said in the museum. But essentially it was limestone that was just carved out over time by one of the creeks that flows near it that used to be considered a river. But really cool destination. Definitely did not expect that from that stop. So I was very surprised, and I will definitely recommend this. Just kind of short destination. Even honestly, if you want to camp, they have campgrounds there too. It would be a nice kind of overnight destination. Lots of trails in the area, really peaceful, and just kind of a cool little place that we definitely were not expecting. And unfortunately, that concludes our weekend trip. I really thank you if you've made it this far watching through. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Please give us a like if you really enjoyed this adventure. We're hoping to make some more, but thanks for watching, everybody.